There are 3 sales where I've gone as a cold call. First, I'm meeting an owner, and I've left that meeting with a 50% advance check. So there are clients I've lost initially a lot in 6 months, 7 months, where I took a very bad finance hit on the payment side, and I had to make new customers. उसने पैशन था, एनर्जी था, एंड वो डिटरमिन्ड कि मैं बनाना ही है, तो उसने बना दिया. इसलिए तो कॉन्फिडेंस में गया ताज होटल में. लात पड़ी, पीछे आ गया एक ही दिन में. बोले तू छोटा बच्चा है, क्या कर लेगा. लकीली 96 प्रॉपर्टीज इम्प्लीमेंट किया मैं 1.5 साल में. उसके बाद
I would like to just trace back to the first startup, right? A few questions I have there in my mind. You said you did BMS, right?
Business management studies.
Just business management studies, but your first startup was a SaaS company, a B2B, tech company. कैसे आपने ये मतलब ठीक है, you once thought that okay मुझे ये बनाना है, ये product because you have worked in it. How do you figure out the tech part because you are not from tech?
So I had a friend who is a very tech passionate. I took his help. उसने बोला यार बना लेंगे, .NET पे बनाना, .NET पे बना लेंगे. तो .NET was a very famous, still famous platform to do anything on the website, most secured version of Microsoft. So हमने बोला हाँ बना ला, तो उसने बना के दिया. अब जो ही बना मैं खुश था, बिकॉज था ना कि जो आइडिया सोचा था वो डिलीवर होके कुछ दिख रहा है सामने ना, एंड देन यू बिकम वेरी प्राउड कि हाँ वो आइडिया में था, अब ये दिख रहा है स्क्रीन पे. तो दैट्स अ वेरी गुड थिंग टू थिंक टू फील अबाउट. तो हमने ऐसे ही किया. देयर वर लॉट ऑफ हिकअप्स स्टार्टिंग में. मेरा फ्रेंड भी समझ में आया कि वो ऑल्सो अ गाय हु जस्ट लाइक विद 2 years ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग, दैट्स इट. उसने तो बड़ा बनाया भी नहीं था. उसने पैशन था, एनर्जी था, एंड वो डिटरमिन्ड कि मैं बनाना ही है, तो उसने बना दिया. और हमने हाईली डिस्कस किया. उसके बाद when he was not able to solve few issues, I had to get into research and give him few things where he can think of it and resolve the problems. So मैं उसके बाद बैठ के बस रिसर्च करता था उसके टॉपिक के दिए हुए टॉपिक्स पे. slowly I built a understanding on the product manager side का thing, like product architecture क्या होता है, how you can fit in a problem, how you can solve problems, how to run the scripts to resolve the issues in .NET, what is SQL, what is database, what is front end, what is back end, how do you manage DevOps का thing, how do you manage server. तब उस वक्त फिजिकल सर्वर बहुत फेमस थे हमारे सिस्टम में. 2 कंप्यूटर्स को फिजिकल सर्वर बनाते थे और चलाते थे उसी पे. How to keep the version track record of the server of your software, what are the problems you need to, when you are pushing it on live, what are the issues you might face in the UAT. वो सारे चीज़ उस वक्त मैंने सीखी है, बिकॉज रिसोर्सेस नहीं थे, उतना लाने की ताकत कैपेसिटी नहीं थी, खुद ही करना था ऐसे. तो वो फोर्स था ना, मतलब कस्टमर्स है, चिल्ला रहे, पेमेंट अटका हुआ है, एंड दे आर नॉट पेइंग यू फॉर समथिंग बिकॉज इट्स प्रॉब्लम्स, सॉफ्टवेयर प्रॉब्लम्स है, यू डोंट नो whom, like what is the expert advice you can take. Nobody is entertaining you at this level. You end up doing on your own. वो स्टार्टअप में बहुत मैं और बीर बोलते हैं कि साम दाम दंड भेद, ये सब का नाना चाहिए आपको.
As a founder, आपके ऊपर कोई नहीं है, राइट? किसको कंप्लेन करोगे? You are the boss.
Exactly. And जो भी बोले, जो भी हीटेड मोमेंट्स होते हैं वो आपको ही झेलना है उन सब. वो बहुत होता है. मतलब until you come to a certain stage, you will see most of the things are not overwhelming, are not even appreciating. Even after you do many things, people still find some loopholes, some problems, some issues where they will keep poking you that these are things I find not good about your products, services. This is still not that great after so many times raising complaints so many times, after giving a lot of suggestions and advice. But you have to keep hold on it. You have to say that whatever I'm doing a good job. Out of 10, at least I resolved 1. Okay, it's okay. Though I might have taken a lot of time, but I did it at my own due course. But I will do it. I'll still pursue. There are clients I have lost initially a lot in 6 months, 7 months, where I took a very bad finance hit on the payment side, and I had to make new customers. There were times when I was involved in customer experience so much that my entire time was only talking to customers about the problems. And as I did, unconsciously or probably not, how do I put it? Not having an intention of not doing sales. Okay, I ended up not doing sales because I was focusing only on customers raising complaints. Then I realized that जो जाने वाला जाते रहेगा, वो आने वाले का funnel कैसे रखूँ मैं? Somebody has to replace my entire finance, right? If I'm losing customer, वो डेल्टा तो कोई भरना चाहिए ना. तब जाके आई स्टार्टेड गेटिंग न्यू कस्टमर्स. आई थॉट कुछ भी हो जाए सेल्स नहीं रुकना चाहिए. तो हमने वो थोड़ा फोकस रख के हमेशा सेल्स मैनेज किया है. एंड वी एंडेड अप गेटिंग 1500 corporate clients in India, and there were only 3 sales people always in my company. Myself, other guy who used to sell only cocktail word software, and the third guy used to, like, we both used to sell very random दाड़ बेचते थे हम लोग.
आपका आइडिया आया एंड द मोमेंट यू वेंट लाइव, राइट, इस बीच में कितना टाइम हुआ, राइट? हाउ मच टाइम डिड यू एक्चुअली टुक टू बिल्ड इट?
So, first 8-9 months we did research. Then we raised some small money, a small amount to develop the product and idea creation phase. We took around 9 months to build the product. 9.5 to build the product, and then we launched in the April last 2023 April. Then कुछ RBI के directives आए थे to everybody in Fintech of PPI, UPI arrangement पे. Then we had to pivot immediately. We pivoted the model, and that also took 2 months to pivot.
Got it.
फिर हमें launch के December में pivot करते हैं.
Okay. You know, when you are starting as a student, right? When you are also managing your academics then. तो एक mindset क्या रखा आपने that okay, did you even thought कि एक कि पर्सनल हमारा खुद का एक बताता हूँ, ठीक है? We want to become entrepreneurs. We know that it's tough. The success ratio बहुत कम है. But we want to dive into it. पेरेंट्स का ये रहता है यार साथ में ना पढ़ भी लो, बैकअप रखो, बैकअप, राइट? दैट्स द पॉइंट. तो इस वजह से क्या होता है, एक जो पेस होता है आपका वो स्लो डाउन हो रहा है, बिकॉज अब एक उधर भी प्रेशर है कि पढ़ना भी है, यू नीड टू हैव अ बैकअप. तो बैकअप के चक्कर में जो है यहाँ पे उतना पेस नहीं आ पा रहा, यू कांट एक्सप्लोर दैट मच, राइट? व्हाट वाज द माइंडसेट व्हिच यू केप्ट, और हाउ डिड यू थिंक अबाउट इट कि कैसे वो हुआ? सो मेरा whenever I was in college, I was to do network marketing, okay, MLM kind of a thing, and I was very passionate about doing that because I used to enjoy talking to people and convince, okay. So that time obviously took a hit on my studies. I was not failing, but it took a very dramatic hit on my studies, and it was a very huge. And one fine day I thought कि नहीं यार, studies पे impact हो रहा है, because ये जो time चला जाएगा ना, then I will not be able to study in my life again. Let's focus. Then I consciously stopped doing it. And I studied. I did BMS and everything. But that thing I was prepared at what I'm going to do after my degree. I knew either I'll get a very, very good, successful job, a very good job where I don't have to look back, or otherwise I'll end up doing something on my own. And I was exploring ways, what will I do? So, so this thing has come, like cocktail world software has come, like, you know, after my degree, like just I was about to complete my degree, but second year degree and I was still exploring क्या करना है. वाइन शॉप में काम तो करता था, बट करना क्या मेरे को पता था, करना क्या वाइन शॉप में तो चलेगा नहीं. देन एक मेरे फ्रेंड है, ही हैड अ वेरी गुड बिजनेस सेटअप इन गोवा, जहाँ पे वो जितने भी एंटिक पीसेस देखते हो ना गोवा के बीचेस पे, तो टुडे इज द लार्जेस्ट एक्सपोर्टर ऑफ एंटिक पीसेस इन गोवा. उस वक्त को सेटअप कर रहा था. वो बोला सुशील आजा, मुझे हेल्प चाहिए. तो आई वेंट टू गोवा, स्पेंड 6 months with him, you know, doing this small activity of delivering the antique pieces to in the beaches and taking the order of those antique pieces and all. But somehow I couldn't find myself fit over there because मेरा studies काम नहीं आ रहे थे वहाँ पे. और मेरे फ्रेंड वो मारवाड़ी थे, he was very good at it, ठीक है. मेरे स्टडीज काम नहीं था, I was not feeling that comfortable कि यार क्या कैसा करेगा ये, मैं स्केल कैसे करूँगा. Then one day I told him यार नहीं, मुझे I have to go back to Bombay, I'll see what I can do, but I don't think I can make my career in this. And I came back, तो एक दिन ऐसे बैठा था, मैंने बोला इतने एक ही वाइन शॉप दिन में कौन करेगा यार, 3-4 तो करूँ. उस वक्त आइडिया क्लिक हुआ. जब वो आइडिया आया ना, वो कॉन्फिडेंस बहुत था कि एक नया आइडिया आया है बॉस, ये नया आइडिया है. और जब मेरा फर्स्ट कस्टमर मुझे मिला था ना, उस वक्त मेरा कॉन्फिडेंस था. लोगों ने बोला अरे तो फर्स्ट कस्टमर सिर्फ साल का 9,000 ले रहा है यार, क्या होता है इसमें. बट 9,000 नहीं था मेरे लिए, मेरे लिए था कि मेरा आइडिया क्लिक हुआ, किसी ने मेरा आइडिया खरीदा. दैट वॉज माई बिगेस्ट थिंग. इसलिए तो कॉन्फिडेंस में गया ताज होटल में, लात पड़ी, पीछे आ गया एक ही दिन में. बोले तू छोटा बच्चा है, क्या कर लेगा. लकीली 96 प्रॉपर्टीज इंप्लीमेंट किया हमने 1.5 साल में उसके बाद. सो लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स चेंज. तो हम पॉकेट पे ऐसे कुछ इंसिडेंसेस आए थे जहाँ पे हमको मतलब कुछ ऐसे टाइम आया था, माई सेल्फ एंड मीर वर वेरी स्ट्रेस्ड. ऐसा लगा था बंद ही करना पड़ेगा. many things were not falling in place, product side, integration side. Some people were not giving us that integration at all. They were like, no, you are against the theory. आप
कैश की बात कर रहे हो, इंडिया में डिटेक्शन की बात हो रही है, तो बहुत लोग कन्विंस करना पड़ा बहुत चीज़ों के लिए. And it was getting a lot of toll on our mental thing also, because as a founder we were only explaining people. Then we made peace with it. We are like, यार हम against the tide चल रहे हैं. We are actually with the entire this thing. We want to make everything digitized. But the thing is, nobody looking this space much, because nobody is talking this at the government level. Okay, so that is where we was finding it difficult. But somehow, luckily, we found people in terms of integrations, investors, people who are from this particular space. Like I'll tell you a recent incident that you'll see in the media very recently. India में कैश मूवमेंट जो करता है ना, वो सिर्फ 2 बिग कंपनीज है, CMS और राइटर. तो आप ये CMS राइटर के वैन देखोगे आप ATMs के बाहर, ATM रिफिल करती है. तो CM इज़ अ लिस्टेड कंपनी, ठीक है, IPO है, लिस्टेड कंपनी स्टॉक मार्केट में. दे आर डूइंग दिस बिजनेस फॉर लाइक 30-40 ईयर्स नाउ. CMS इंडिया का 70% कैश मूव करता है फ्रॉम बैंक टू ATMs और ऑर्गेनाइज रिटेल स्टोर लाइक डीमार्ट, रिलायंस, मैंगो, जितने ऑर्गेनाइज है ना, CCDs, चेन्स है, इन सबसे कैश पिकअप करता है और उनके अकाउंट में देता है 24 आवर्स बाद द चार्ज फॉर एवरी दिस थिंग. ठीक है, सो 70% कैश वो मूव करता है. जब उनके पास जाते हो, आप बात करते हो, उनको रिपोर्ट देखते हो ना आप, तो उनके रिपोर्ट में लिखा हुआ है कि लास्ट ईयर सिर्फ एक ऑर्गेनाइज्ड रिटेल आउटलेट की बात करते हैं, डीमार्ट. ठीक है, डीमार्ट में लास्ट ईयर जो कैश पिकअप किया था ऑन एवरेज मंथली, और ये साल से कंपेयर करो तो 15% अपटिक है. अब क्वेश्चन ये है कि डीमार्ट में कौन शॉपिंग करता है? एम्प्लॉय लेवल लोग जो क्रेडिट कार्ड, डेबिट कार्ड, UPI यूज़ करते हैं, बट वहाँ पे 15% का कैश अपटिक है. ठीक है, तो उनका थियरी ऐसा है कि UPI इज़ वेरी गुड इन इंडिया, बट कैश कहीं नहीं जा रहा. वो बढ़ेगा, ये बढ़ेगा, दोनों बढ़ेगा. ठीक है, तो हम ये बोल रहे हैं कि जो पार्ट बहुत ऐसा पार्ट है जहाँ पे everybody is not looking at that segment in a certain way, we want to automate it and we want to bring that under UPI construct. This is our theory.
So I think like it's like a founder is like a scientist जो अपनी एक कुछ चीज़ बनाता है और उसको एक्सपेरिमेंट करके उसको प्रूव करता है.
So यार वो जो स्टेज है becoming from an hypothesis to a theory, it's a very long shot game, you know. It's not like हमने सोचा और बना दिया. हमने वो इंडस्ट्री एक्सपर्ट लाइक CMS राइटर से इतना बात किया. We literally requested, begged for that appointment, understood this concept. We sat like for 1 year, we sat them for what 7-8 times. बात किया, पूछा, हर तरह के क्वेश्चन पूछे, उन्होंने पेशेंटली आंसर भी किया हमको. Then we got very strong intuition कि भाई there's a theory, there is something very concrete and we should look at it. Then we were able to convince our investors who are majorly from banking sectors and they understand bank very well. Because they are from banking industry, they understand what is cash and how it is being used and how can we simplify this method. That's why they got that confidence in us and they invested in the idea stage.
Right. So पहला जो स्टार्टअप था, राइट, इट वाज बूटस्ट्रैप्ड.
Yes.
ठीक है. देन बूटस्ट्रैप था, लेकिन फिर भी फंड जो थे आपने मैनेज कैसे किए, राइट? हाउ डिड यू ब्रिंग इन फंड, लाइक यू आस्क फ्रॉम पेरेंट्स, पॉकेट मनी से निकाला?
नहीं, so I took a small loan of 5 lakh rupees initially, जहाँ पे we just spent that money on a very limited resources that were important, okay, like engineer, एक support and then this thing. We spent very wisely and we knew that हमारे पास ये पैसा जो है सिर्फ 1-1.5 महीने के लिए है. We need to get some more sales in 1.5 month. तो हमारा वो फेज भी था लाइफ में जहाँ पे एज अ फाउंडर you become very stressed at the end of the month that you have to pay salaries to every this thing. So we end up pushing ourselves more to get sales. That habit of getting more sales end of the month, right, was from initial. Like we understood that every time you have to get more sales and revenue to pay your salaries. ठीक है, there were years, stressful years, जहाँ पे 2-3 साल ऐसे थे 13 से लेके 15 तक की हमेशा कस्टमर का पेमेंट, एग्जिस्टिंग कस्टमर पेमेंट्स टाइम पे आते नहीं थे. देन वी हैड टू होल्ड सम सैलरीज ऑफ द एवरी रिसोर्सेज. इट वाज एक्चुअली इम्पैक्टिंग आवर कंपनीज कल्चर. From 14-15 we took a conscious decision that we'll do a very heavy sales. From then we never had a cash problem in the company. We always had 2 years of runway even if we don't do any sales. That's how we maintained ourselves. So then I think till 15 I was doing a sales just as a sales guy. From 15, when I wanted to have that kind of a revenue in the bank, I had become expert. I was not a sales guy anymore. I was a James Bond. I was like, लोगों को James Bond को license to kill है ना. I have a license to sell. I can sell anything and everything. Then I was also a guy who used to pick up 5 big companies and feel that will they buy my software? If it's about my F&B software, will this F&B outlet chain of restaurant will buy? If they will not buy, what is the reason for not buying? Then you do one thing. You talk to those founders, chains, and you generate that requirement of having such software. Then you sell. Okay. So that also we started doing it. So there were times when I have sold to customers just by saying that you might require the software in next 6 months. So that also we did. Luckily, actually it helped them to take a precautionary step of having such software that could streamline their entire, F&B operations. So that also we did. There out of like many sales, I would say there are 3 sales where I've gone as a cold call. First, I'm meeting an owner, and I have left that meeting with a 50% advance check. So that was also kind of a very confident. That made me more confident that I can do such things as well. I met a very unknown guy, very unknown potential client, and I discussed so much with him that I was able to get that 50% advance check immediately from that meeting. That instances happened in my life. That made him more this thing, and I started doing more aggressive. I wanted to just be in the market, network, get those relevant people in the board, and then just do sales, just generate revenue, good revenue, and talk to that corporate guy. Then there was a phase from 16 to 18. I used to be only in suits every day, and my target was meeting a promoter or a guy who can refer me to some customer, or a customer every day is important. I used to meet everybody and anybody. I used to just meet people. I never used to think, यार ये बंदा मेरे प्रोफेशन का नहीं है, मेरे वर्टिकल का नहीं है. What will I get meeting him? सबसे मिलता हूँ. पर इतने कॉन्टैक्ट्स है मेरे फ़ोन कॉन्टैक्ट्स में ना, I can literally dial up anybody who has a knowledge about NPCI and RBI, Fintech, F&B, PropTechs, HR techs, anybody and everybody. I can recommend the products. There are some founders who are coming in HR vertical, in recruitment vertical called Recruity. I helped them to promote their services. I literally do anything and everything. Because of that nature of meeting people and, forming that frequency and that, networking is important. And it's networking not just like I met you today and tomorrow I might not meet you. It's not about that. You have to have a follow-up meetings with that network. You have to make sure that you do something for that network which can count as a, So I have this strange habit. I would not say strange, that will help me in many ways. Whenever I meet somebody at any position, I'll ensure that after the first meeting, that person should feel that he owes me something.
That's actually good, because then you meet second time too.
I'll ensure that I get that person anything and everything sorted in his life. उसको बाइक चाहिए, कार नहीं मिल रहा है, ये कार का मॉडल चाहिए, मैं करवा के दूंगा. मुझे सिर्फ आपका फेवर चाहिए. I want you to understand that हाँ बॉस, इस बंदे को I owe something. That I do. इंडिया में सेल्स करना इजी नहीं है, बट to become that expert, you need to be really passionate enough to be on the road. Revenue generation is directly proportionate to how much you network in India. Okay, so that networking and that be on the field and kind of talk about what you do and have an expertise of everything is important. That's why jack of everything is very important. Because when you want to sit with a lawyer, and this lawyer has a very good connects in his company portfolio who could be a possible prospect customers, and first you have to convince this lawyer, right? And why will lawyer sit with you? Because you can tell him that I also know some kind of a law and I can get some business from my portfolio who need a lawyer. I'll promote you. Then I end up making him connect with all my connects in my connect. Then he'll feel that, yaar, he's making me meet some people. I should also make him meet my people. That's how you network.
It's actually like a really great learning experience. I've never heard that.
आप सब देखो, आप जो सॉफ्टवेयर बेचते हो ना, वो छोड़ो, सॉफ्टवेयर तो आपका सर्विस है, वो बिक जाएगा. वो बिक जाएगा. एज अ सेल्स गाय व्हाट एल्स यू कैन सेल हिम, व्हाट एल्स ही वांट्स इन हिज लाइफ. आपको बीवी को अच्छा रेस्टोरेंट चाहिए, मैं बुक करा के दूंगा. आपको कहीं पहुंचना है, मैं उबर करके दूंगा, 5 स्टेज में जाऊँगा, लेकिन आप मेरा प्रोडक्ट खरीदो. इतना लेवल तक यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दिस एंटायर, यू नीड टू लर्न अबाउट योर कस्टमर वेरी वेल. योर कस्टमर शुड फील कि बॉस इससे सिर्फ सॉफ्टवेयर का नहीं, कुछ भी मांगो करवा के देगा ये बंदा. ही इज़ माई जेम्स बॉन्ड, ही इज़ माई आर्वी स्पेक्टर, ही शुड फील लाइक दैट. तो आई मेक yes, I don't know if you watch Suits. You should watch Suits. I'm very big Harvey Specter. Immediately start karo. I'm very big Harvey Specter fan. He's a lawyer. The way he cracks deal and does everything for his customers, that is the thing. One thing you should learn. And he's the best closer in the entire US that people has ever seen. You should immediately start watching Suits. बहुत important है.